So the party then, in trying to locate Grog's position, found their way delving past the lava fall based element of the obsidian rock, Duragar Underdark. Vax went ahead and stealthed up, looked over and saw that there was a camp of Duragar, and apparently the surviving Queen Ulara, giving them orders, next to Grog, who is currently bolted by iron bands to some sort of a cart that they've been dragging him through this tunnel passage with. And that is where we have left off. So.
I think I've got a plan.
Oh, because I did too.
You have a plan.
No, I want to hear yours.
Plans.
So
Let's do them both without telling, and just see what happens.
I'll Rochambeau you for it.
I actually like this idea, Scotland.
Keyleth can melt through rock. So if we can get the attention of everyone who's guarding Grog, she could slip through while we're drawing them out and get through and let him go in the midst of the fight.
That works with my plan.
That works with your plan.
My plan was to go in there and distract them while you did something.
Fantastic. Perfect plan.
I like that plan.
I hadn't completed the thought because something hadn't been worked
You were
out.
80% there. You were like 80%.
Actually, let me tell you all that Grog is up here. You didn't know.
I assumed you'd come
I
back.
figured.
No, I'm still
Up and
there.
hiding.
That raises the stakes.
Last week I said, "Come up now."
Oh,
And
right.
that's when he called.
And I already taken off, so I'm already headed there.
That was when you said come up
Well.
now.
Great.
So
Well,
we're there.
So Tiberius, roll a stealth check.
Yes.
Right.
great. Just go for it.
Hold on, let me show you my collection of tin cans tied to my tail.
You notice one of the Duragar kind of looks over his shoulder in your direction
And plan over.
and begins to make a few steps in that direction.
Wait. Who? You?
Yeah, he went in
Yeah,
anyway.
and he's not stealthed enough.
All right, I
I'm just
grab
saying-
Tiberius by the snout and pull him back around the edge of that rock.
That's what I said
I'm
last
doing
week.
it.
I'm just
doing
continuing
it.
because I remember it when we left off. I was
Okay.
like,
Dagger
I
out,
follow
pull my
it.
dagger
As soon
out.
as he did that, I was like, I follow.
All right. So the Duragar continues to move forward towards the edge of the rock.
Okay. We stealth. Can I head that way?
The rest of you, not you, Grog.
And I'm throwing a knife into the dwarf's neck.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, and that.
Well, that's coming over at all.
All right. So the rest of you guys go ahead and roll stealth.
All right.
Okay.
He's not waiting. We've been doing this for 30 seconds. We're already in a fight.
I'm not going to
I
stand
was
here
gonna
and
distract
wait
them.
for the Duragar to walk around
I was
the
going to
corner.
distract them too.
This is
and
a
you
solid
got one of
start.
It's a classic movie moment.
I'm going in. I'm walking into the camp.
All right.
Wait, okay, wait.
Because I rolled
Are
a
we
nine.
just abandoning the
So-
plan?
No, we're just going for it right now.
As you approach, the Duragar just looks behind, gives you a glance, and you can see his eyes, normally kind of pupilless eyes of the ashy-skinned Duragar, kind of are now glowing with an odd, dull green color that you haven't seen in Duragar previously. And he starts rushing towards you. He's going to make a simultaneous round rushing up to you for an attack, while you release your 2 attacks against him,
Yes.
and you release your dagger.
Go twinsies.
So,
Who is Scanlan?
this calls for a music change. All right, so,
Best laid plan.
My first one was an ultimate fail.
okay, good to know. Your first arrow misses, second one you said hits?
25.
25 definitively hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
Nah. Why? Oh, I'm cursed today. 8.
8 damage.
Damage.
All right, so after he swings past Scanlan, who ducks out of the way, one arrow just cruises over his head, and you hear cats scattering and clattering against the rocks in the distance. He looks over in your direction as the second one just grazes his shoulder.
Oh.
You can see a little bit of blood begin to spill, but it doesn't even turn his head towards the wound.
Jeez,
He's still just glaring at you angrily,
Good times.
while you throw your dagger from behind, him not even aware of your presence currently.
Okay.
Do a really good job.
20 natural.
First of the night.
There is a magnet inside this die. I should be just full disclosure. Okay, so natural 20.
We're buying you new dice next week.
Yeah. You might need new dice as well.
Right.
Thank you.
All right, so so as you pull Tiberius back, clutching the front of his snout, keeping him quiet, you pull a dagger out, toss it in the air, catch it, and fling it at full speed. Striking true, go ahead and roll damage with
That's
sneak
odd.
attack bonus. Also multiplied
Yay.
plus the crit.
Yes,
This
yes,
guy's
yes. He's
dead.
gone. He's gone. 47.
All right. So as he turns and the arrow strikes off his shoulder and he glares at you, Vex. He pulls back his hammer again, looking down at Scanlan, coming down for a blow to basically bash his skull in. But you stop suddenly as you see this blade protrude from the front of his skull. His glowing eyes fade back to a dull, pale, whitish color, and his body just slumps onto the ground as your dagger magically returns to your hand from below. Duragar down.
I nod to you.
I step forward and say, is her name Ulara?
Ulara, Queen Ulara.
Queen Ulara, show yourself. Step out and talk to us. Everyone hold.
All right.
I'm gonna kind of slink back into the shadows and turn into an earth elemental and sink into the ground.
Okay. All right. So, as you shouted this out, the secondary Duragar now turns, and first off, make a persuasion check.
Yeah.
Oh, no, in this case, intimidation, I think is what this is going to be.
Do I roll again?
I'll say okay because it is a different skill.
I'd like to move to the other side of that other.
Get about there with this round.
Okay. 22.
22.
Fucking love this game.
All right. As you shout this, the Duragar grabs this war pick from his side, looks at you angrily, and begins to step forward as a giant grizzly bear, and the rest of the party kind of filters up behind you in full like flying V formation. He puts his pick to his side and yells off to his shoulder, "My queen, we've got company!" As he does, the flaps of the far end of the tent here open up. There's a dwarf there, not a Duragar, but a dwarf that is standing there at the side that steps out of the way, and Queen Ulara steps out as well, and you see her angrily look off to the side. Well then, it appears that we have some business to discuss. And she begins to step past the front of the fireway, stopping right next to the fire pit, just kind of keeping a good 15-foot distance with her arms crossed.
Queen Ulara, if I may have a word, let us spare each other lots of bloodshed and just have a chat before we fight. Is that all right?
Talk, small, annoying creature, and perhaps it'll delay the inevitable.
We, my friends and I, have come... Hi, yes. We've come from the above world, the normal world, let's say, to your fine kingdom down here below. And we were on a mission. We're a bit of, I don't want to brag, but we're a bit of an elite task force sent in by kingdoms and kings that you probably haven't heard of way down below. But anyway, I'll spare you.
I'm going to do the earring and go to Scanlan and be like, keep it simple, will you? I mean, really, calm down.
Pop me.
Yeah, how could you?
Milady,
I also...
we have come on a mission to save someone that you were holding captive. We have completed our mission. And in the melee in that hovel you called a palace back there, we lost one of our own, and we would like him back. Now, I'll make it very simple because my fellows are begging me to keep things simple. It's a simple binary choice. You can all die right now, or you can turn over our friend, and we will probably leave you in peace. I would promise, but I don't make promises to dogs.
Oh shit!
I'm moving like kind of behind where the pillar is, but in the ground.
Behind where this pillar is in the ground?
No. I'm.
Do you have a mic you can
Yeah,
conjure and
I'm
drop?
there.
Okay.
Oh, that's Keelan.
All right. So at that response, and you're noticing now, is getting a better glance at the queen too. Her normally white, pale Duragar eyes have a strange kind of green glowish hue to them, as do the two individuals to the right and left of her. And she just looks you square in the face. You took my king from me. Came and slayed him in his own throne room. You took something I love. I take something you love. He's mine now. And I'm bringing him to his greater destiny. At which point, a loud, horrendous streaking sound pierces the ears of everyone in this vicinity as, appearing out of a ripple of energy, a once invisible mind flare goes cascading out a mind blast in a cone that just tears through the entire group here.
Right.
Tiberius, you're up next.
Take the whole
Great.
damn thing.
I peek over the little thing and I go, ooh. And I throw a fireball from my ring.
Okay, where are you throwing it?
Oh, right in the juicy spot of those three.
Right here?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
The juicy.
So, as they're all sitting there looking ready to pounce for this series of battle, all of a sudden there's a slight streak of reddish energy in the distance as y'all are watching. It looks almost like the fire pit behind them just explodes in this giant fiery ball of red, angry, magical fury. Grog, you also take the damage.
Oh.
What?
How many points?
He's a friggin' sponge. He'll be fine.
Because you said you threw it in the fire. There?
Yep.
Grog's right there. On a cart.
I said, did you spot those 3? I knew Grog was there. Of course I wouldn't throw it there. Okay, fine.
Unless they tortured
pointed
him down
here.
to 1.
Yeah,
I know.
but I thought, I don't know.
He doesn't love cuts.
Be specific next time, but yeah, it's okay. You can take it. You come to consciousness in extreme pain as your entire body is immersed briefly in flame. That brings us to Scanlan.
Okay, so all that's remaining on the battlefield is the Queen and the Mind Flayer?
Mind Flayer, the Queen, and this Duragar here has not acted yet.
Alright. I'm gonna just bum rush the Queen
Yes!
Alright.
and just dive at her.
Alright.
Just dive full head on straight for her and bear hug her with banishment. Oh yeah, baby!
Love banishment.
Okay.
You know you can cast it from a distance.
No, you have
This is more
touch.
fun.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a touch spell.
It's touch.
Alright. So,
Huggies.
what's your spell DC? Are you I assume you're using your hand cone?
I do most things through that.
As you charge forward, you pull out your enchanted hand cone and shout the incantation towards her with an angry glare.
Get lost, motherfucker!
Is it a DC of 19 for that?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, God.
Okay, even with her spell resistance, she does not resist it.
It's not you, it's me!
Is it intelligence or wisdom save?
I don't know things. Target I don't know. Where does it say?
You should say what saving throw it is.
Find it.
I will do this for you. On a charisma saving throw, or be banished.
Okay.
So, if it was anything but a charisma saving throw, she would have shrugged it. Charisma, she does not have in spades.
Ooh.
As you reach out, she pulls back. You can see her beginning to form this crackling bolt of energy you've seen once before in the throne room that shot out and hit multiple members of your party at once for a severe amount of damage. This would have been a very dangerous round if you hadn't have connected with her right in the front of her clavicle. She looks at you with this look of confusion and completely caught off guard frustration before her entire form blinks out of existence and is no longer visible on the board.
Barda.
Get the hell out of there.
Do I get my bonus?
Yeah.
I'm gonna give inspiration to Grog because he needs it.
All right. Okay. So Grog, as the flames die down, you look over and watch Scanlan just rush up and completely, as far as you know, disintegrate the Duragar Queen who took you and has been torturing you these past few days.
Wow.
With that, he looks over you and gives you a little wink and a smile. Go ahead and take an inspiration dice, which for him is now a D10.
Oh! Nasty boy.
10. Keela, it's your turn.
Alright, I'm going to phase through the ground, because I can,
Yeah.
and pop up right there next to Grog.
All right. Grog, you all of a sudden, as you look over from Scanlan with the smiling face, this giant mountain of rock and earth just lumbers up out of the ground.
And in rock speak, I say, Grog, it's okay, it's Keyleth!
You hear him.
I still don't really grasp that.
We haven't.
Can't
It's your first time doing elemental form.
Yeah,
You're still figuring it out.
So, seeing that he's still tied up, I'm just going to pick up the whole crate and put him over my No, I'm gonna football carry him like this.
Okay.
Wait. Is he on something?
He's on a big.
He's strapped to a giant
And
cart.
she's carrying the whole thing?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Because Earth Elemental. That brings us to this Duragar, who's going to rush over to the one who just banished his queen and attempt to, as his physical form begins to swell with strength and frustration, the Duragar swings at you with his war pick. That is...
Oh, don't hit me! I cast a little cutting, what is it?
Cutting words?
Cutting words? Cutting words?
Okay. So it's a 16. Go ahead and roll it's D10, remember?
Oh,
D10 now.
that's
You leveled
D10?
up, yeah.
I've never rolled a D10 before.
Now you have! There you go.
That's
This is a D10?
Yep. So it's a 6.
Can't take you
It
anywhere.
was a 4.
It was a 4, so it takes that down from 60 to a 12, which does miss.
He misses!
So as he rushes towards
Oh, don't hit me!
you, he stops for a second, confused, like, but he puts the war pick down for a second, like, oh. Wait, you gnome! Does not know why he listened to you, and is equally frustrated with himself now as he is you.
So good.
The Mind Flayer looks at a certain circumstance.
Oh, no.
Puts his hands together like this, seems to concentrate.
I
for
see
a
it. I
moment.
counterspell.
Yes! Yes!
Well, then.
Okay. All right. It's a reflex.
Well done.
Yeah.
Yes, I am.
Counterspell in this edition is
Wow.
so good.
That's great.
So, as this entity you've seen before, they tend to like create this small, localized portal into some other plane and then step through and vanish. You see it begins to coalesce the same arcane energy, and for a moment you see a spark of some sort of doorway begin to open as Tiberius steps from behind the rock, releases this torrent of sparkling arcane energy that closes the gate entirely, and the Mind Flayer for a second looks confused before it, across the way to wherever it came from and sees nothing.
Oh, so sorry.
Oh, you're still invisible.
So sad.
So sad.
And is going to turn tail and run.
Just running?
With his feet?
Can I shoot
Oh,
him?
he ran?
Yeah.
He can float away. He's floating.
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
I'm gonna.
Yeah, screw it. I'll do another fireball at the Illithid going away. Like, where do you think you're going?
Okay.
19.
19. All right. 19 damage.
Yep.
Okay. As the Mind Flayer's like drifting away, you guys see this arc of red kind of beaming energy off the distance. You see rocks cascade off the top of the wall, hitting the ground with a force as the entire tunnel shakes and rocks. As the smoke and the flames dissipate, all you see is this pile of blackened creature on the ground from where the Mind Flayer once stood.
Oh, peace out! Mind Gobbler.
Is that everybody?
Fellows, gather around. She might come back at any moment, and we should be here to surround her when she
Okay,
comes back.
yeah.
And someone
free
get
Grog.
Grog out of that thing.
Yeah,
Oh,
can we
crap, I
get...
forgot about that one.
Vax is moving to the next band. That's a 24.
A vein of
I got a 25, does that not help?
Yeah, between the two of you, over the next few seconds or so, you pick the next one, and with that remaining push on you, you just force the rest of the bands off. Grog, you make your way up to your feet. There we go. At this point in time, there's a slight ripple in the space right before this this fire pit, and in that same place, Ulara, Queen Ulara, reappears again.
Hold her!
Waiting for it.
Take her alive.
Can I just
Now
reach
all our
out
good saving throws are coming through.
and grab her as an earth elemental? Just like,
If you want to.
yeah. 23.
23. You bound up behind her as she looks over her shoulder, like the arrow piercing her shoulder. She's looking a little rough. You see the blood beginning to kind of pool underneath her robe there. Her eyes go wide.
It would be in your best interest to not struggle.
At which point, the giant arms go behind her, and the earth elemental lifts her off of her feet, and she. You can see her now, her feet dangling angrily in the air. A couple seconds pass before she. All right. So, let's make a deal, shall we? As Clodagh steps forward, putting his hand out, this voice kind of echoes through all of your minds communally. No. Tell us what you know. And you see his eyes flicker with this strange blue energy.
Yeah, Professor X.
man's gotta eat.
And you see Alar's eyes glaze over and fill with the same blue arcane energy that Clarota was briefly having drift out of his eyes. Ular stops struggling, and the mouth goes into this weird grin for a second and just calmly says, "We all shall rise. Kavarn, the guiding darkness. The sun shall hold no sway, and we shall walk the surface once again."
What is all this poppycock?
What is Kavan?
Kavarn came to us, showed us how, through unification, we could be better.
I
than we
didn't ask
ever
what
were.
he did, I asked what he is.
Divine. At which point there's a shudder in her body, and the eyes go from the strange blue color to this strange swimming black that covers the entirety of each eye. At which point she kind of shakes for a second. Her shoulders shift, and you can clutch her in your arms. As you do, you see the blackness now has that same kind of green glow that the rest of them had, but it's kind of framing the pools of shadow that her eyes have become. Her jaw falls slack for a second, and this voice comes through.
There. There we are. I can see you all so clearly.
Not me!
You'd be surprised, Dragonborn.
Oh, you're pretty good.
Word has reached my ears, but to see you, to look upon you is everything. Come, you are close, yes. Come to me as my guests. I invite you. The temple doors are open.
Will
I'd
there
like
be?
to see you in person.
Can you be more specific? Like, do we go left or right? No, so specific.
You're already on the right path. Come to me. You are my treasured guests.
At which point, the blackness in the eyes begins to intensify and begin to spill like black tears from the face. Her body shudders before the back kind of convulses and then falls limp, a little bit of smoke rising from the mouth.
I check her pulse.
She is definitely giving up the ghost.
Try to heal her.
Does she have anything awesome on that we can take?
I wasn't going to say it.
You're eluding
I
her
was
already?
waiting. I was waiting for someone else to say it.
What a mercenary.
Yeah, you're not able to really pull anything from their bodies, unfortunately. However, after Kima finishes healing you, Kima walks over to the dwarf corpse as you're inspecting it and kind of gives it a look over and shakes her head.
What do you see, Kima?
This is one of my companions.
Oh no!
Well, judging by the scars across his body, he had already been made a thrall of one of the Thilid, most likely the one that finished back there.
He was already a thrall.
Wasn't much to really bring him back at this point, I fear.
Is that what they would have done to Grog?
And then as you guys all look at Grognite, you can see him. He has hundreds upon hundreds of small scars across his body, fresh wounds that have kind of just barely sealed. It looks like they've done a number on him with a bunch of small blades, hooks, razors. It's hard to tell, but he is just coated with small cuts.
It's been interesting.
You look really manly now.
Now.
I wanted to talk to my team.
Okay.
We can either talk now or we can talk after break.
Let's
Talk now.
Vax is
talk
walking
now
off
and
into the distance to urinate on a stalagmite or a stalactite, whatever is the one on the ground.
Okay.
Well, we'll wait for Vax to get back.
We'll bring him up to speed.
Just
later.
talk loudly.
Yeah.
Well, I don't. Where's Kima?
She's like right
She's right
here.
Kima's with you. Kima's still looking over the body of the dwarf that's fallen.
Speak.
Oh, that's a relief. Oh.
How do you not want to trample Kima? I don't want to talk about it.
I'll distract her. I'll
Grog
distract
goes and
Kima.
distracts Kima.
I might be better at that.
Whoa.
Okay.
Kima, can you
You
take
be nice.
Can you take a walk with me? I would like to persuade you to take a walk.
Don't take his money.
It's okay.
Go ahead and make a
Just
persuasion
use
check.
the earring and walk off and tell us.
24.
Okay. Kima gives you a concerned look and goes,
It's just there's this thing on my body. I thought maybe you could take a look at it and you could tell me if it's good or bad.
"Oh dear, no, please."
It's
Get
like
it. Do
bluish.
not drop the mark.
And the two of you begin to walk away for a moment, away from the party, briefly, while the rest of you are left behind too.
Scanlan, do you have an earring?
I have an earring.
Okay,
yes.
so Scanlan can hear.
I use my minor illusion to create like a purple third nipple on me that I sort of show her and ask her if it's okay or if it's just kind of.
Okay, things are getting a little weird.
Is this normal?
None of this is normal. Oh.
I mean, it's just I trust you. I feel like I know you. You know, we had that thing back there, and then Keyleth was yelling at you. What was that all about?
We're all
Let's
under a
girl
lot
talk.
of duress. We're
Let's
under a
girl
lot
talk.
of duress.
I can.
And we're in war, things,
No.
people have emotions, and I understand that. It's all right. And she pulls the leather gloves off that are part of the leather armor set, and kind of begins to inspect you. In the meantime, you guys continue your discussion.
I think we should get out of here.
What? Why?
Look, we've got Grog. We've got Kima. We came here to find Kima. That was our mission. I don't trust her.
We found her, but we can't leave without her.
So I'm walking back from IP, and I've overheard this. We were sent here to bring back Kima.
And now you want to abandon her?
She's not going to come with us until we've killed this Quran.
That's true.
What's your problem with Kima?
Yeah.
Well, look. She just gave me the wrong vibe up front.
Okay, vibe.
Okay?
What did she do?
She's been very rude.
She's been very tortured. She tortured Keyleth.
True.
Right. But look what happened. She's brought countless people down here, only to meet their end.
Well, none of those people are us.
Right. But
They
not
met their
yet.
end because they got captured. We're stronger.
Do you know something we don't, Keyleth?
Look. All I know is that only a fool believes that his path is the most virtuous. See? And he's got an intelligence
I
of
want to
6.
use my insight check on Keyleth.
Okay.
Intelligence
I want to
of
see her intentions.
Inside the group check. I love it.
14.
A 14. All right.
You reached it.
Sneaky.
The whisper. The voice whisper.
Wait, get back! Get on camera! Over here!
Whispering camera. He used to do this all the time.
Yeah.
When shit goes down and all of us can't know, he whispers and he sticks his tongue in your ear a little bit.
It's really nice, Your Highness. By the honor of all Stormwinds, I will let nothing happen to you. I swear it. I will fight till my death. And I have ways, of course, to get us all out of here whenever I damn well please. That's true.
That's true.
So do not worry.
Just have a bad feeling.
About that.
This horn can't make it back up to the surface. You guys have to promise me that.
We'll keep the horn from leaving.
She wants to take it back. Why? If it's that bad, why does she want it?
That may be so, but the evil that is brewing beneath the surface of the world will stretch up to everything we know. And I know that you have made mistakes. I have certainly made mistakes. That is to live. There is more at stake right now, and we are the front line. We're the only ones that can stop it. Mistakes are all right.
God in darkness will blot out the light.
I just hope we're not the darkness.
Wait, no, do you need light?
Oh, so.
Is it? I'm sorry.
Thanks, Tiberius.
Thank you.
Oh, then, yeah.
I'm not sure what this is. I'm sorry.
There's one more thing I need you to look at. It's just I cast polymorph on myself, giving myself a gigantic dick. And I slowly pull down my pants.
Kima immediately turns around and says, "Okay, and walks back to the group.
What did I say? What did I say? You can't keep it in for 2 seconds.
It's my way.
I mean, not that I blame you, my God.
I think we're all a little frayed.
Don't want anyone.
I think we need to rest.
Conscious.
Let's set up camp.
Yeah, let's go.
Kima steps in at this point and says, "I agree. We have quite a journey ahead of us." And at which point Clorta pipes up and says,
Indeed. Not too far from young Voril. Let us rest.
So after an evening's rest, and taking your respective turns keeping watch, all of you come to consciousness once more. Clarota anxiously sits at the edge of the camping facility, looking deeper into the tunnel ahead, just keeping his eyes peeled into the darkness.
I check below my belt because the spell has worn off. And I'm back down to my normal 1.5 inches. Which on a gnome is pretty big.
It's pretty big.
All right.
Thank you.
Length and girth.
Oh God! What?
It's like a square.
You're like
it's like a cube.
You're like a crushed coat.
Anyway.
All right.
Anyway.
Clarota seems pretty excited to get home. I'm worried for him.
Worried for him?
Yes.
Or for his effect on the group?
I'm worried that they won't take him back and what that will do to his state.
Well, the bottom line is we have a pretty clear goal at hand. Everything else will have to be figured out afterward.
Yes.
I walk over to Lady Kima and I say, how's that greatsword been treating you?
She walks and she's kind of using it almost like a stick in the dirt as she takes a step. You know, it's served its purpose so far. I just, I wish that vault wasn't lost.
Right.
It might not.
Leather isn't my idea of defensive.
Would you fancy a trade, Kima? I have elven chainmail if that would help you.
Perhaps.
I could take that leather armor off your hands.
But you'll be vulnerable, won't you?
No, actually the chainmail isn't right for me.
Certainly. she looks to you specifically.
Stick figure.
Got it. We're good.
Perhaps we'll find a more modest place to swap, but yes, I agree.
Dang, I should have done that
But in your mind.
I can make you a modest spot.
Grog, are you skinning a boar over there?
Yeah,
What
that's
are you
what
doing?
they call it in some countries.
You summon the staplers, draw.
Oh, you know what though?
we can't do a lot of
Before we
walking.
go any further, I remind Pike that
Oh, it's cosmetic.
Vax's foot damage needs daily repair,
Oh,
doesn't
yes. It's true.
Oh, yes, of course. And she comes over and you guys take a slight break as Pike comes and sets you down.
It's not pretty to look at.
She's seen it already.
I've
brother.
seen that.
Wait, what happened to your foot?
It got melted off.
Oh my
Not again!
That looks awful. Really awful.
It's fine, except the pinky
He's
toe.
got a little pinky nubbin.
Pinky toe is a nubbin now.
You know, we could just take care of the whole thing right now.
No, that defeats the purpose.
Not
Rash.
necessary.
Alright.
I need Percy to make me a replacement first.
Make a little metal toe.
That's what I say.
Little metal toe.
Pike, could you hook a brother up?
Certainly, she kind of sets the foot down and she begins to gather up her when she's casting some 4th level spell.
She should have done it before we went to sleep.
But alas, she's not here. Sorry, Ashley.
She did it that.
Okay, so that would be the equivalent of about 32 hit points. They're still chilly, with steadily more and more moisture. The rock walls become less and less jagged, growing smoother from endless years of condensation, mineral drip, and slow erosion. You begin to get that smooth inner cave look to the outsides of this tunnel. About a half an hour further down this tunnel, both Vax and Vex simultaneously notice a part of the wall to the left that is actually visibly cracked in what appears to be almost like a narrow passage that juts off to the left. However, there is a large boulder, solid stone, that is wedged into this, apparently blocking the passage.
Side quest?
Grog, we need you over here.
What?
Possibly move this very large, very heavy boulder for us.
Scanlan, you as well.
Of course.
I need your help.
Pike!
I would like to move the boulder. 26 on a strength
On a
check.
strength check? So, as you guys are explaining, this seems to be a fairly... You don't even finish your sentence before Goggins goes... grabs the boulder, gets underneath, and lifting with the knees.
Good for
Kind of Atlas style, put the weight on the back, and...
I'm singing to help him, to inspire him. Oh, push it. Push it real good. Push it. Push it real good.
With a resounding... a scraping sound and a large crack, some of the rocks that it's wedged in break off and kind of tumble to the sides, and you get the boulder free, and you're now clutching it on top of you, and it's very, very heavy.
Oh, I use my mage hand and I push it too.
You lose your balance on the boulder as it's now shoved off of its axis.
Oh no!
It falls behind you, slamming into the wall, blocking half the passage. The passage you guys were going down immediately. You can still pass it, you just have to walk around it. And you may have tweaked something in your back a little in the process.
Oh, gross.
You glance to the floor and notice what appear to be 6 long dead bodies strewn across the ground. And you also notice that the female dwarven corpse, while devoid of any accoutrement, any coin purses, belts, or anything, does have kind of hidden within the bony clavicle, with a little bit of like stretched, dried skin is pulled against it, a pendant that is gleaming blue. It's a very beautiful sapphire emblem. You kind of rub the dust off of it and look at it, and you recognize this emblem. This is the emblem that adorns House Thunderbrand.
Naturally.
Of Craghammer. You turn it over on the back, and there's an engraving on the back that says, "For Lorna, my love."
Lorna?
Oh, didn't he say to bring back some stuff from the
Yes,
Underdark?
and this is what we need.
Hey, did you get the armor
Yep.
back? Hey, can I have the armor?
No, I can't give it to you.
Can I have it?
Sorry, sis.
Please.
Kima.
No, she gave it back. She gave it back.
A lot of
I know
reasons.
she wore it.
No, she gave it back.
She put the chainmail on, she gave you the leather.
Two very
armor.
easy
Give
reasons.
it.
Either you didn't
That's
want them to
between
be
you and
found,
her.
but you did.
I'm not taking armor off of her.
Please, can I have that armor?
She's holding it in her hands. Certainly.
Thanks. I go put it on. I don't know what it is. It's magic though. So.
It's whatever
I
armor
guess
you
we'll be
gave
on
her
the second.
that was in the...
Wait, my armor?
Yeah.
That's my armor.
Yeah. I
The
took it from
armor
her.
that you gave for her to put on at Emberhold because she had nothing
I
on.
gave it to him. He gave it to her.
And I'm
You're
taking
taking
it.
it. Hold on a
Too
second.
late. It's already on, brother.
No,
Let's
I
just
don't
keep
think so.
moving, alright?
Take
Let's
backs.
just keep moving.
take backs.
I think we need to roll a brother-sister contest
No,
die.
just
I grab her by the ear and say, "That's mine.
Ow,
That's
no,
mine.
Come on, I
That's
need
mine."
it.
Okay, so that's
Sibling
Squeezing her earlobe really hard.
Roll.
Yeah, you two roll. Go for it.
Shit. It's mine.
Sibling justice.
mine was just
Persuasion versus persuasion? Is this what this was?
Yeah, sure.
They played arm punch until one day.
It's mine. It's not fair.
As the tunnel begins to curve larger and larger, eventually you come around a bend, and the tunnel opens up into a humongous cavern housing an underground lake circling a large island. As you all kind of walk up to the edge of the shoreline and you're inspecting the water and kind of feeling for it, you look over and on the far left side of the shore, you can see just below the water line what looks like a sunken boat or two.
I can't see shit.
It's mystical.
There's a sunken boat in the lake.
Really? Should I go get
Down
it?
here? Who's a good swimmer?
Me. I'm actually a really good swimmer.
Keely.
It's Oversea.
Lady Keely.
She's
Well, if you
very
guys
good
want to
swimmer.
take a look.
I
how do you know if you're swimming though?
run over to the edge of the water and I do a swan dive, and as I swan dive, I turn into a shark in the water.
I run to the water as well, and I fucking cannonball.
Well, okay.
So Keela's form jumps into the air, this thin, lithe, half-elven figure that then turns into this giant shark beast that just sploosh into the water underneath. A few moments later, big splashing sound. All right, the water is freezing cold. You could swear this should have turned to ice by now, because your veins certainly feel like they have upon impact. You immediately get over that as you transform into a natural creature that is used to cold water.
Right.
Grog, it's fucking cold.
1.5 inches, me too.
There's a medical condition for a Goliath.
Aren't usually this many penis jokes in a session, folks. Just happened to be one of those days.
Clarota, is that mushroom forest? I mean, is that your home?
Should we go there? Should we skip it, Clarota?
The forest certainly surrounds the city.
Oh.
I carry Grog over to the island.
There are many places of entry within this cavern.
And you see Clarota kind of concentrate for a second. And within all of your minds, you suddenly have a very clear image of this entire cavern. Its layout, what strange shape it is, where the general overlook is, and as clear as day,
it's being.
you have an entire visual of the inside of this cavern piece. You guys reside down here, right by the bridge on this edge of the beach. This green represents the fungus, and this you imagine represents the city, the temple being central to there.
We should not take the bridge. I think we should.
Yes, that's a
definitely
lot
go
of
a
fungus to
different
get through before the city.
Grog.
Where are we on that?
Grog, do you
guys
need any
are
help
right
down
here
there?
at the
Can
bridge.
you pull up any of those boats?
Pull.
Yeah,
Pull them up, Grog. Pull
I
them
like
up.
it.
Oh yeah.
I try and push it.
My hands down and direct telekinesis to lift up the boat out of.
So you're putting your iron stone on as opposed to your...
He gave the other one to me.
Yeah, I.
Oh, yeah, got you.
He has
Okay.
the, I still have it going.
Okay.
Sorry.
Alright, so you put the awesome and you...
And I cast telekinesis on the boat to lift it up.
Okay.
And I try and I swim underneath it.
Okay. There's a rustle in the waves on the surface of the water as you see all of a sudden this bowing and splashing begins to occur. The ship begins to rise out of the sediment to the bottom of the lake.
And try just to get right on the lip.
It gets up, it's filled with water, you tip it on its side and spill the rest of the water out. There is still a large hole on the bottom of the boat, like on the inside. And you carry it over back to the surface of the shore and rest it gently onto the rocks.
Can you fit that boat in your wheel of mending?
I'll do a tinkering check first and then try the wheel.
Why don't you tinker it first?
Anyone help us?
And that's the, what do I use as my modifier?
I would say this is a key point in time for a Scanlan song.
Oh, yes, of course. Yes.
Use that bardic inspiration specifically for stuff like this.
Oh, I do. Yes, I will inspire you. I don't know what to sing. What's a boat song?
Come on.
Yes. How does it start?
I'm not feeling very
Something
inspired.
exciting is waiting. I'm
on a boat.
How does it go? I'm on a boat, motherfucker! I'm on a motherfucking boat! That's all I got.
There you go.
I feel inspired.
I'll give you D6 for that.
Dick's not a
Downgrade.
Man.
Sailing takes me away to where I've always heard.
Okay, that's worth a D10.
Well, if it wasn't Vax singing.
Okay.
Go for it.
All right. 13.
Okay. 13 total?
Yeah, 13 total.
Okay. You take a while with it. It takes a little longer than anticipated, but you have your general tools with you. You hammer away. About an hour and a half to 2 hours later, you're sweating, your muscles are sore, but you feel like you've managed to get the hole, for the most part, patched. Now it's just to test its buoyancy. All right, so you guys continue down the right side of the path. You push off into the water, being towed by Keyleth in sharp form.
Can we, as we're flying overhead, can I get a better look at if there's anything on the beach?
Yeah, as you guys kind of glide down, you look on the beach, you see the ruins, you see, even though there's no real breeze or wind in this cold air, there is like a slight swaying
On the beach?
onto the trees that kind of reside on this.
What about the little islandy cave, the little cave?
On here?
Yeah.
Best you can see, kind of looking down, it's just a plain pebble beach. It's kind of like an inlet there that goes into the cavern interior of the wall.
Open that bad boy. Let's get all up in there.
Oh, what?
I don't know.
Cave?
Maybe there's treasure.
Yeah, just missing
Caves are fun.
I already have a ruby. I'm
I'll stay with the boat.
I'll follow you.
All right.
Oh, we are.
As you guys, not so stealthily, begin to march into the tunnel here. You follow it as it kind of bends around a little bit, and eventually it opens up into this larger space. And as you enter the room, partway through this tunnel, the scent changes dramatically. That cold, kind of still water smell begins to give way to this terrible, sulfurous, rotting smell. It's near septic. And as you enter this room, the smell is dreadful, and you can tell, using your light source over here, there appears to have been some sort of a struggle. There are bedrolls and sheets kind of strewn about and soiled and burned and torn across the floor. There's about, looks like 3 or 4 different bedspreads that have just been tossed and ruined. You can see a semblance of what was a fire pit, but all the soot and ash has been smeared across the ground to the outside of it. There appears to be like a half-buried, like a chest or a container off in the far corner, and you can see what looks to be 4 dead bodies in like a not too long state of decay. Like you still see flesh and skin, but like there's some bone peeking through, and they're all just kind of slumped against the ground against the
Vax,
corners.
why don't you go mess with them?
I'm going to use perception on the chest and the bodies.
Okay. As you begin to approach the chest,
Yes.
you notice one of the bodies shift.
Oh no, I'm dead.
Its head kind of rolls around and looks at you,
Pike?
and Pike, who's still back in the boat with Percy. What? She doesn't have one of the earpieces, so she...
Someone called Pike?
We should
Percy,
go there
I'm
right
dead.
now.
Percy, I'm dead.
All right, we're on our way. Pike, come on.
All right. As you guys get out of the boat and begin rushing in that direction, you notice the one body kind of looking over at you with this weird grin. You've had a few encounters with zombies or undead creatures that unnaturally move. This one has an intelligence to it that disturbs you, and you immediately glance over at the other bodies who are already getting to their feet.
Where are the bodies located?
Good thinking.
We will get to that at the top of our next session.